welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, in today's look I will be using the new JaclynHill Morphe palette by Morphe, and yeah, this is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous palette. When I first saw it online, I was like, I need that, and I had it all planned out. I was off that day and I was gonna order it, but then I had to go help my mom with something, and in the place we went to there was no signal, and thank goodness we got out of there before 10 o'clock. And I was like struggling to order this. I had my mom's phone and my phone trying to get through, and this is one of my first Morphe palettes. I bought two that day. I bought this one and the 35R, and I'm impressed. Like, I was always like really skeptical about trying their palettes, but I'm so glad I went ahead and bought it because these shades are just gorgeous. Look at this. I'm like in love with this palette. I like already know what colors I'm gonna use next. This is gorgeous, guys. So if you get a chance to buy it, then go for it because it's cool. I really like the packaging. I love the silver against white. I like the back. I just like everything about this palette. And so yeah, if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, the first thing I'll be taking is my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in light medium. I'll be using this as a primer, and I'll just take a beauty sponge and blend it all out. And then I'll be taking my e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder in Translucent, and I'll use this powder to set down that concealer. Now for the fun part, I'll be taking the JaclynHill palette, and I'll be going into the shade Made for Each Other, and taking a Morphe brush. I'll just be buffing that into my crease, and I'll just go and, you know, just buff it in there. Don't have to be precise or anything, because I'll be later going on applying more eyeshadow and just cleaning it up later. Now I'll be going into the shade Butter, and I'll be applying that on top of Made for Each Other and just buff it in there. I'll be taking a smaller brush, and I'll be trying to be more precise with this one. So yeah, just buff it in there until you get the pigmentation you want, until you're content with how it looks. Going back into the palette, I'll be taking the shade Roxanne and taking another Luxie brush. I'll just be buffing that into my crease as well, layering it on top of the previous colors, and I'm using this color to darken up the crease a bit. Alright, now for the lid, I'll be taking the shade Sissy on a Morphe brush, and I'll be applying this more towards the outer corner of the eye. And to intensify the color, I sprayed the brush with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, and this made the shade stand out more, and I really liked how it looked. Going back into the palette, I'll be taking the shade Little Lady, and I'll be packing that into the center of the lid and just build it up as I go until I get the pigmentation I want and I like how it looks. And now, after that, I'll be taking the shade Faint, and I'll be applying that towards the inner corner of the eye, and just as well until I get the pigmentation I want. I'll just keep packing it into the inner corner. Just taking a clean Morphe brush, I'll just use it to blend everything together, making sure there's no harsh lines, and just making everything look blended and seamless. Going back into the palette, I'll be taking all three shades, Sissy, Little Lady, and Faint, and just using my finger, I'll go over each one of them. And this, I feel like the product is picked up and it's deposited into the skin, the lid, so much better than with the brush. It's much more brighter. It's I feel like for these three colors, using your finger makes them stand out way more than just using a brush. Okay, now I'll be taking my Tarte Drink of H2O Hydrating Boost, and I'm going to be applying this to my under eyes to moisturize for later on when I apply the color corrector and the concealer. For primer, I'll be using the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer in clear, and I'm just going to, put this all over my face so I can put my foundation on top of it later on. For foundation, I'll be taking the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation, and I am in the shade Medium Honey, and I'll just be, putting some on my beauty sponge and then just patting it onto my skin and then blending it all out. Now I'll be taking the Hard Candy Color Correct Expert Stick in orange, and I'll be putting that on my dark circles, to cancel them out a bit, and then just taking a beauty sponge and blending it all out. For concealer, I'll be taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in light medium. This is one of my all-time favorite concealers, and I'll just be putting that on my forehead, my under eyes, the bridge of my nose, my smile lines, and my chin, and just taking the same beauty sponge I used earlier and blend everything out. Alright, now I'll be taking the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD Powder in clear. I'll be taking my Equal Tools Beauty Sponge and just using this powder to set down the concealer. And I'm going to be applying this powder everywhere else I put concealer on, just to make sure the concealer doesn't crease. Okay, now I'll be taking the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in Get Paid, and I'll just be putting this on my waterline. Going back into the palette, I'll be taking the shade Pool Party, and I'll just be buffing that into my lower lash line. And this is a gorgeous shade. Like, when I first saw the palette, I was like, I knew I wanted that palette. This is one of the shades that made me decide that I wanted that palette. I mean, this palette is gorgeous. Like, I love everything about it, but this blue is just, I don't think I have any blue like this in my makeup collection. And then I'll be taking the shade Obsessed from the palette, and I'll be putting that into the inner corners of my eyes. For mascara, I'll be using two different ones. The first one is the Tarteist mascara. I'll be using this for my top lashes and my bottom lashes. The second mascara I'll be using is from Lancôme. It's the new Monsieur Big Mascara, and I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but it's a really good mascara. I got it from Ulta before it was released as a birthday gift, and this mascara really gives my eyelashes some volume and length. Now for bronzer, I'll be taking the Nars one. It's called Laguna, and yeah, I'm just going to bronze up the skin a bit. Now I'll be taking the e.l.f. powder I used earlier, and with my Equal Tools sponge, I'm just going to bake a little because I feel like my bronzer got a little messy, and I just want to, you know, strain it up a bit. Alright, now I'll be taking the Rimmel London Scandal Eyes Waterproof Eyeliner in black, and I'll just be using this eyeliner to tightline. Now I'll be taking the Highbrow Pencil by Benefit. I'll just use this to highlight my brow bone, and I'll just blend it out with my finger. Just taking a Wet n Wild brush, I'll be brushing off the powder that I used to bake my skin, and then I'll just be bronzing up the skin a bit more with the same bronzer I used earlier. For highlight, I'll be taking the Vintage by Jessica Liebeskind Illuminating Face Highlighter Set in Rose Quartz and Chocolate Diamond. I'll just be putting that on my cheekbones and just, you know, bringing it up to my brow bone a bit. And I really like this highlighter. I think it's one of my favorite ones that I own, and I don't own any highlighters. For lips, I'll be taking the Milani Amore Matte Lip Cream in Love, and this shade is gorgeous. I tried it out earlier and then I wiped it off, and it gave my lips like a tint, a faded tint. It looked really nice. It didn't look like I was wearing a lipstick, but it made my lips look really nice and I really liked it. Now I'll be taking the Hard Candy Fast and Fabulous Makeup Setting Spray, and I'll just use this to set my makeup. Alright guys, this completes this look. I used the JaclynHill palette and I'm liking this. I don't usually just wear blue on my lower lash line, but I'm really liking this look. I like this lip a lot. It's actually the first time I've used it. I bought it like a week ago and this is the first time I've used it. And I really like it. It's the Milani one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!